August 2025, Anchorage, Alaska, history or theater. Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin shared the stage in one of the most dramatic, high-profile summits in years. But when the cameras stopped rolling, the reality set in. No deal, no ceasefire, no breakthrough. So, was this summit diplomacy at its highest stakes, or just political spectacle designed to project power? Jets roared, flags waved, the red carpet glistened under the Alaskan sun. But here's the question no one can escape. Why did a summit with so much pomp produce so little substance? Location matters. Joint Base Elmendorf, Richardson, Anchorage, America's northern frontier, was transformed into a global theater. Fighter jets soared overhead, and a stealth bomber performed a flyover. It was Putin's first time on U.S. soil in over 10 years, and the first Russia-U.S. presidential summit hosted in America since 2007. Trump promised his supporters that hosting Putin here would change the game. But as events unfolded, the biggest change may have been in perception, not policy. Inside, they spoke for more than 2 hours. Outside, the press waited for answers. And when they finally emerged, the words were vague, the details missing, the questions not allowed. Trump described the talks as extremely productive, hinting that progress was made. He teased that agreements were reached, yet refused to reveal them. His line? No deal until there's a deal. Putin, meanwhile, framed the war in Ukraine as America's responsibility to solve, reiterating Russia's so-called red lines. Kyiv must abandon NATO membership, accept neutrality, and prepare for territorial compromises. Crucially, neither leader faced reporters. No press questions, no joint communique. Just a handshake, a smile, and a void of detail. That silence raised the loudest question. What were they really talking about behind closed doors? He got the red carpet, the limousine, and front row optics. Did Putin walk away as the real winner, without giving up a thing? Optics are everything. And Putin left Alaska with powerful images. Arriving as a statesman, chauffeured in the U.S. president's armored limousine, speaking first at the podium. In symbolic diplomacy, these details matter. Western analysts called it a public relations coup. One outlet bluntly said, Putin didn't win a policy concession, he won the spotlight. Meanwhile, Trump appeared cautious, even subdued, praising progress but offering no concrete policy shifts. Supporters saw strength, critics saw stagecraft. So while no deal was signed, Putin got what he came for: legitimacy, visibility, and a platform on U.S. soil. But while leaders smiled in Alaska, the battlefield in Ukraine told a very different story, one of bloodshed, not breakthroughs. As Trump and Putin shook hands, Russian artillery continued striking cities in eastern Ukraine. Reports confirmed fresh offensives launched just hours before the summit. Ukraine's government reacted sharply. Officials in Kyiv said the summit gave Putin valuable time, without forcing him to de-escalate. President Vladimir Zelensky warned that peace can't be negotiated in silence, urging stronger U.S. commitments. For Ukrainians, this summit wasn't just theater, it was a missed chance to demand accountability. And the backlash didn't stop in Kyiv. In Washington and across Europe, critics asked the same thing. Did Trump just hand Putin a PR victory? In Washington, lawmakers were divided. Supporters hailed Trump as a deal maker willing to test the waters. Critics said he gave Putin the stage, without demanding concessions. In Europe, NATO allies voiced concern. Leaders in Poland, Germany, and the Baltic states feared the summit sidelined them, suggesting U.S. policy might drift away from collective defense. Meanwhile, Russian state media celebrated the summit as proof of Moscow's global stature, airing triumphant footage of Putin alongside Trump on U.S. soil. One man's failed negotiation is another man's propaganda victory. So where does this leave us? An empty stage in Alaska, a war still raging in Ukraine, and a question the world can't ignore. What happens next? Trump promised follow-up calls with Zelensky, NATO leaders, and even hinted at a possible trilateral summit. But no dates were set, no framework announced. Analysts warn that if this summit was about optics, then the real negotiations, if they happen, will be even harder. Without a ceasefire or concessions, the war in Ukraine will grind on, while global powers posture over who holds the diplomatic upper hand. The Trump-Putin summit of August 15th, 2025 will be remembered less for what was achieved and more for what was projected. Jets, flags, red carpets, yes. But peace? Not yet. For the people of Ukraine, diplomacy remains a promise still unkept. This was the Alaska summit. Spectacle without substance. Optics without outcomes. What's next may define not just Trump's presidency, but the trajectory of a war still raging in Europe. For deeper breakdowns and global analysis, hit subscribe.